You know, some lives are just stories, but others, they become legends. Today, we're not just looking at a biography. We're opening a chronicle, the story of a great man whose entire life became a monument to loyalty and a spiritual devotion so deep, it continues to inspire people decades later. And this is the man at the heart of it all, Phra Narathirat Rajamanit, known affectionately by the people as Chow Quinn Nor. His calm, serene image here really only hints at the extraordinary life of service and sacrifice he chose, a life that would provide a powerful answer to one of humanity's deepest questions. And that's the question that frames this entire story. What is the ultimate expression of gratitude? For this man, the answer wasn't in words, it wasn't in gifts or wealth, it was in the complete and total transformation of his own destiny. But you see, before he was the monk, he was the prodigy. His story begins not in a monastery, but in the world of academic brilliance, where his intellect shone so brightly it seemed destined for the very highest levels of society. I mean, just look at this track record. Born Truk Chintayanon, he graduated first in his class from a school that was considered the best in the entire country. Then he did it again, graduating first in his class in political science at university. He was, without a doubt, one of the most brilliant young men of his generation. A future as a great leader seemed absolutely guaranteed. But destiny, well, it often has other plans, doesn't it? And his destiny would be forged in a single, fateful encounter with His Majesty King Rama VI. This meeting wasn't just going to change his career, it was going to define his very soul. So picture this. During some military drills, the king noticed Truk's small size and asked him, "So small, if an enemy ambushed you, could you even fight them?" And his response was just perfect. Not arrogant, just pure, loyal spirit. "I must try to fight first. Whether I can is another matter." That witty, brave reply completely won over the king. And just like that, Truk was brought into the king's inner circle. The king's trust in him was so immense that at the incredibly young age of 25, think about that, just 25, he was given the noble title of Phra Narathirat Rajamanit. The name itself says everything. It means a good person whom the king esteems. This wasn't just a title, it was a royal declaration of his character. And he lived up to that name with every single part of his being. His devotion was absolute. When talking about protecting the king, he would often say, "I must be able to die in his place. My head is the guarantee." And you have to understand, that wasn't just talk. It was a sacred vow he was willing to fulfill at any moment.
But it was in the face of terrible loss that this loyalty would find its ultimate expression. The death of King Rama VI didn't end his vow. No. Instead, it transformed it into an act of renunciation so great, it has echoed through time as a true legend of sacrifice.
So, it's really crucial to understand what he walked away from. Look at this. He gave up his high title and position. He gave up immense wealth. He even gave up his fiancée and any chance of having a family. And what did he embrace in its place? Just one thing. The life of a Buddhist monk for the rest of his days.
And for how long? Well, his ordination on March 24, 1925, was only supposed to be temporary, a common practice to honor the late king. But for him, temporary became permanent. He remained a monk for 46 years, right up until the very day he died. He was given the monastic name Dhammavittako Bhikkhu, and for the next 4.5 decades, he began a path of self-discipline so strict, so unwavering, that it became a legend all on its own. He lived by a code that is just astonishing. He ate only 1 meal a day. He refused to have electricity or tap water in his room. He never received guests in his private quarters. And, get this, in 46 years, he missed the daily temple chants only 2 or 3 times, and that was only because he was literally too ill to move. He basically turned the busiest part of the city into his own private spiritual forest. But of course, a spiritual path like this is always tested. And his greatest test came from an unexpected encounter with death itself, an incident that would prove the unbelievable power of his mind.
So one day, while he was walking to the main chapel for his duties, he stepped on a cobra, and it bit him on the foot. Now, for any of us, that's a moment of sheer panic, a desperate race for help. But Chow Quinn Nor, he just kept on walking to the chapel, completely calm, and performed his duties as if absolutely nothing had happened.
He didn't ask for medicine. He didn't call for a doctor. He simply used the power of his concentrated mind, his meditative force, against the lethal poison. His foot swelled up terribly, but by the next day, the swelling was completely gone. He had subdued the venom with his mind. It was a miracle that solidified his reputation as a true spiritual master. So, in the eyes of the people, he became something more than a monk. They started to see him as a living saint, a holy man walking among them, right in the middle of the city. And his reaction to all this reverence is perhaps the most beautiful part of his story. They gave him a title born from pure faith, the Arahant in the city. Now, an Arahant in Buddhism is someone who has attained nirvana, the highest state of enlightenment. For the people to give him this title, it was their way of saying he was a living saint. And to them, he was. But what did he think about all this? Well, one day, someone finally worked up the courage to ask him directly if the rumors were true, if he'd really become an Arahant. He pulled the person close, and with a smile, he whispered back, "You crazy guy." It's just a brilliant moment. You see the spiritual giant, but also the profound humility and gentle humor of a deeply human soul. So in the end, his real legacy wasn't carved in stone or written in books. It was etched into the hearts of the people, a legacy of incredible virtue and a simple, yet overwhelmingly powerful teaching. He passed away on January 8, 1971, but his presence is still powerfully felt. If you visit his shrine at Wat Benchamabophit School, you'll see people arriving every single day, seeking his blessings and remembering the extraordinary example of his life. And what was the core teaching from all those 46 years of intense practice? It came down to this one simple, profound directive he gave to everyone. Choose to do only good deeds. Because doing good is better than just asking for a blessing. That was the truth he didn't just teach, he lived it, completely and absolutely, for 46 years. His life, a quiet legend in the heart of a bustling city, leaves us with one timeless question. What is the ultimate expression of our own gratitude?